Hi, I'm Noni from Noni's Crafty Kids. Today we're going to be making this Jolly Roger. I call this the improved Jolly Roger bracelet because we already have on YouTube this design for Jolly Roger. We've got the skull, a tutorial in great detail, and if I do say so myself, it's very slow, and once you know what you're doing, it's totally aggravating, but it's perfect for kids who are just starting out with the rainbow loom. But as far as skull and crossbones, it's got a nice skull, but when I did that last spring, this was the best I could find, the best design I could find for the crossbones. Well, since then, this design has appeared, which is called by the odd name of curly kisses. They don't look like curly kisses to me. I guess that's because they're in the form of an X. So I modified that and made some changes, and so here I've got a pretty good crossbones going. So that's what we're going to do on this video. I will go over the basic tutorial for the skull, and I'll go much quicker this time so it doesn't drag out so long. We'll go through the whole thing in just one video. And then we'll attach it to the curly kisses. And I'll also provide the links to the original Curly Kisses video and give credit where credit is due. So, that's it. Let's get started. To make this Jolly Roger bracelet, we're going to use 2 rainbow looms. You can make it on one, but if you do, it'll require a transfer to get enough of the bracelet pattern to go around your wrist. So I find it easiest to use 2. Rather than put the transfer on this tutorial, I'm going to just use both looms because I'd like to keep this tutorial a lot shorter than the previous Jolly Roger video. For this bracelet, we're going to use purple, orange, black, a few clear bands, and most importantly, the glow-in-the-dark bands that we get from rainbowloom.com. Of course, you can use any color that you want to on your bracelet. This particular Jolly Roger is made with the glow purple bands that come from rainbowloom.com, and then we have rose pink, metallic silver, and again, some of the clear bands. But I have a feeling this one's going to be the most popular. So, we begin on the first rainbow loom in the traditional setup with the offset bars. I'm beginning with 2 clear bands on the first 2 middle pegs. Now, throughout the entire skull, we're going to be using 2 rubber bands, just like we would on any action figure. There are a couple of places where we use only a single band, and I'll be sure to point those out. So you start like that. Now you're going to go up the side, each side. Okay, 2 and 3. On the left, go up this side the same way. 1, 2, and 3. Bring them into the center. Okay, that's the size of the skull. We're not going to use the rest of this loom while making the skull. Now, another 2 white bands. And now, we're going to use 1 black and 1 white with the black on the bottom. Again, we'll use 1 black and 1 white with the black on the top. So it looks like this. Okay, now we're going to do, when this comes together and we turn it, this will be Jolly Roger's chin, focus, and this will be his head. All right, so this black band begins his mouth. This black band underneath the white one begins his nose. Next, we're going to do his cheekbones. Come from his nose up toward the side of his face. Again, on the left side. So there you have a hexagon. All right, now we're going to begin adding the next layer for his mouth. I'm going to have 2 bands going down on each side, down by his jaw. For his eyes, it's a little more complex. We have 4 sets of jaws, and it's going to form an X right about here. And you need to push these bands down. Let me get my handy dandy tool here. Push them down. All right, especially in the middle, but also along the sides. All right, now that band's gotten out of place. I'm going to use one of my hooks. Bring those up above the white band. All right, you'll see why that's important when we begin hooking. Okay, so that all of these bands are in order, with the top layer separate from the layer below it. And that's not even the top layer. We've got a couple layers to go yet. Now, back to the eyes. Finish this crisscross in the center. All right, there we go. That's the second layer. And now, with just a single band, twist it double and put a cap band on. Actually, I'm going to twist that another time because I like that to be nice and tight. There we go. I'm going to put another, so there's a cap band right here on his chin. We're going to put another cap band. Whoops, not clear. That glow in the dark. 1, 2, 3 times on this center peg. That's actually his nose. So right in the center there's a cap band. Right down in his chin is a cap band. All right. Now back to 2 bands. You see that Jolly Roger's face tapers down here at his chin. Wider up at the eyes, more narrow at the chin. Right? In order to do that, we need to put on a very tight crossbands. So I'm using a double rubber band, pulling it very tight and bringing it back. Okay, get in focus. Then grab it with your hook, bring it up and over that cap band, just like that. We're going to do the same thing again right here. 2 bands, stretch it all the way across, twist. I find it helps to put my finger on that peg all the way across. Now grab it and make it even tighter by forming a triangle. There you go. Now, one more step, as if we didn't already have enough bands on here. Press them down. We have 2 more bands to add. Okay, single band from this peg to this peg. Keep it on the inside of these 2. So a single band from here to here on the inside. Do the same thing on the other peg bar. Single band from here down to here on the inside. And that's it. You've got your Jolly Roger laid out. All right, ceremonial turning of the loom, and we're going to begin looping. Now, on most of our projects, we begin looping up the sides. Zoop, right up the peg bar. Not on this one. On this one, we're going to start over here, and we're going to do these black diagonal bands, both the mouth and the big X where the eyes are. And both of those go from the outside in. So reach down, grab, see how I'm going in there? Grab those black bands, bring it up through, and catch it over the top. Now I'm going to run this around, and that's as close as we get to a teardrop at this point, and that is correct. So we're going to come over here, get inside this band. It's easiest if you reach around to the inside and grab those 2 black bands, bring them up, and that one came right off, and that's good. All right, so the nose has come in from both sides. All right, we'll come up to the eyes and do the same thing. Now, we don't have to bring this through because this is over here on this side, so we just lift it, put it over. Better press those down. See how that comes off? Because you've got a lot of rubber bands on that one peg. Again, from the other side, lift it off, put it over the center peg, press it down. Now, here, you're going to come from the inside of that single band. Grab it, the black bands, put it over the center peg, push them down. Last one from this side, come inside the white band over the center peg. Push them down. There you go. You've got the mouth and the eyes loomed. It doesn't look at all like a mouth and eyes, but it will. Do not worry. All right. 2 more loops on this layer of bands. We're going to come here to the cheekbones. And where the mouth and the eyes went from the outside in, the cheekbones are going to go from the inside out. So we have a cap band here, remember. So get under those 3 bands from the cap band. Grab the next 2 bands. I've only got 1 there. Bring it over. Go find that other band. I'm going to have to go over here. When I can't find a band, tilt your hook to the side where you can see it. Draw it up through the cap band and over the peg. Now, same over here. I'm going to tilt it the first time so I get both of these bands. Bring them up through the cap band and over the peg. Now that formed some nice teardrops. And there you're done with that layer of rubber bands. Now we can start going up the 2 sides. Now I can begin coming up this way, beginning in the center, get below that holding band and below that triple cap band, and get these 2 bands going to the right. And there. Bring my hook in here, run it around the outside of the peg, and that releases that band so that I get a nice teardrop. Now I'm going to come over here and get these 2. So let's see. I can bring them straight up. Yep. Over the forward peg. Again, getting the very bottom pair. Grab them. Bring them around the peg. And that's holding tight, so I want to wiggle it back and forth. There we go. One more time. And now up over the top to the center. So we repeat that over here on the left. Don't forget to come back to the center and get these bands right here. Down underneath all these holding bands. That's one that I need. So over to the side to grab them. Bring them up through. There. See, that's the holding band, or the triangle. And this is the cap band. Okay, now we'll go right up the side. If you want to fast forward, that would be fine. All right, now we have the two sides. Now we have to go in and come up the middle. Do not forget to come up the middle. Now, this can be pretty intimidating, but all you're going to do is reach down through each of these 3 pegs and bring the bottom pair to the forward peg. And like we did before, it can help to look in from the side. That's the side view. There's the black and white pair. There's my hook. Grab them, bring them gently up to the top and around that peg. Okay, don't grab that one. Okay, gently, you don't want to break anything. Now, here's where it would help a great deal to have 3 hands. I'm going to hold that down, that side, bring it around, there. I've gotten it, well, I almost had it off the peg. It's okay to use your fingers. It's just really tight because of all those bands. There. Now, I'm going to hold this here and get one of my other hooks. And using the other hook, it's gone right back onto the peg. Using the other hook, I'm going to go around the outside of this peg and loosen all those other bands. Hold that down. Holding that with my thumb. Go in again and loosen those. So there's our Jolly Roger, fresh off the loom. Now, I sometimes find that the front will look a little bit different than the back. Either way, it will require some zhuzhing to adjust. And of course, you can end right here and use this skull as a charm for anything you want. Now, we're going to use it to add to the bracelet. Here it is over here. Just like this. And you will see that it is exactly the same skull as on the bracelet we did several months ago. So, now, this bracelet, again, it's called Curly Kisses by Seawolf. And I'll put the link on the screen. And you'll make it exactly like the tutorial that Seawolf has published, with just a few modifications to take in the skull, which I have woven right into an extension on this bracelet. The other modification is I've increased the size of this X right here. All the other X's, or kisses, have 2 bands wrapped around each of these crossbands. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 crossbands and 2 bands wrapped on each of those. On these, just below the Jolly Roger's chin that form the crossbones, I've loaded them up with 4 bands wrapped around each arm of the X. So those are the differences. Now I'm going to pre-wrap a whole bunch of these bands so we don't have to put them on the video. And then I will come back and show you exactly how this is done. Here we are all set up to make the second part of our improved Jolly Roger bracelet. Here's the charm we just finished. And I'm going to set that aside for just a little bit. I have 2 looms joined together in the usual way. I think you've all seen this. If you don't have 2 looms yourself, this is a great project to do with a friend, taking turns, and you can each make yourself a Jolly Roger bracelet. Now, very importantly, we change the setup of the rainbow loom, not only to link 2 looms together, but also so that now the peg bars are straight across. All right, we changed the middle one so it's not offset, but so that all the pegs are lined up next to each other. That's a big difference. And of course, I should also say, you can do it on just 1 loom as long as you can make that transfer, which I'm not going to go over on this video. Okay, now you can see that I've got the first layer of bands already set up. It's in a very familiar pattern, just single chains on each peg bar. And I don't go all the way down to the end. On the 2 outside bars, I've laid out 19 of the main color for the sides of the bracelet. And then I've put on 3 more. I like to make the last 3 rubber bands black. That gives you the black border on either side of Jolly Roger, more like the pirate flag. You don't have to do that. There's nothing wrong with just continuing with whatever color you use for these border bands. In the center, I'm using clear rubber bands. This is just the way Seawolf does the center bands on her bracelets. But I end that with the 19th band and do not add the 3 extra ones. The reason for that is this is where we're going to attach Jolly Roger. So, how he is attached is with 2 black rubber bands that are linked together. And this is a very familiar basic technique, but I will show you how to do it real quickly because it's super easy. Get 2 rubber bands, overlap them, grab them from opposite sides, and pull. Once again, 2 bands, overlap, grab them each from the opposite, over and under, and pull them through each other. And then you have a little square knot joining 2 rubber bands. Okay? You'll need 3 of these units to attach your Jolly Roger. Okay. Now, the next thing you need are 9 of the big X's that make up the crossbands in the bracelet. So, now 9 fit my wrist and most kids' wrists just fine. But if you're making these for a little brother or sister, you might want to make fewer X's. If you're making it for your dad or some other big person, you can add extra X's. And then that, of course, will mean fewer or more chains on your loom. Now, the way you make these, very simple. You need 3 bands for each unit. Take 1 band, wrap it 3 times around your hook. Push it down. Take a second band, once, twice, 3 times around your hook. Take a third band, hold it on your middle finger. Grab it with your hook, then grab these wrap bands with your thumb and forefinger. I'm awfully close to the camera. Let's back up a little. Pull those over onto the rubber band. Okay? And with the second one. Just like that. Yep, I dropped one. The trick on this is not to catch it on the hook, but to bring them here. So there is 1 unit. You need 4 of these units for each of the X's. Okay, so 12 units in each of the colors. 12 for your orange, 12 for your black, and altogether 12 in the glow-in-the-dark white. Except, there's always an except. On this one, which happens to be the first one that we're going to place right here, on the X that forms the crossbones for Jolly Roger, we're going to do it slightly different in that we're going to put 4 wrapped bands on each unit, and we're going to wrap them 4 times. So 4 times 4 for this crossbones. 3, 4. That's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 units. I'm pushing them back so we can keep them separate. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, put that on my middle finger. Grab it and grab those tight loops. Draw them right on there. That's 1, 2, and that one caught. 2, 3, and 4. And you probably hear my dog outside protecting me from the evil kids that are playing out in the street. All right, that's 1 unit. You need 4 of these units for the crossbones. Okay, so that unit goes right here. Sorry about the dogs, but I don't think it would work very well if I went out and yelled at them. Okay, I have additional ones prepared right here. So, there you go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I skipped the second peg. I also skipped the very first peg. And that makes sense because that gives you a great big X. And now, right here, we're going to put a cap band and wrap it 3 times so it's nice and tight. Slip it over that peg. Okay, I'm going to do that again. 1, 2, 3. Slip it over that peg. All right, now we're working this way, so the next color is the orange. So we need just the regular units I have prepared. And there's your 2 bands with 3 wraps. Start that right on the same peg that you ended the first one. Skip the center, come to the next one, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your next X. And we're going to put a cap band on that one. 1, 2, 3. Slip it over nice and tight. And you can push those down, but we don't have any more bands coming on top of that, I am happy to tell you. All right, now we're ready for the black one. Now we're back, and I have loaded up the double loom with the X's for the bracelet. And the X's serve as the crossbands joining the 3 lines of chains together. All right, I want to be sure to correct a mistake. I think at the beginning of the video I stated that you needed 19 chains all the way up here, 19 rubber bands on each peg bar before adding the 3 blacks for a total of 21. I misspoke. That's a total of 21 altogether with 18 if you're changing colors here. And that would be 18 of the clear on the center bar. And stop at the 18. Do not add 3 more. All right. Now I'm going to finish up this last X here in the middle. Try to prop this on its side so you can see it a little better. Okay, I'm bringing my final 2 wrapped rubber bands right here. And here. Right over the center peg. Right over the side peg. And now a cap band. Twisted 3 times, triple cap band over that center peg. Now we're ready to add Jolly Roger. Now, let's get this positioned here so you can see it move some of it. I've got packages of bands over here that want to be heard on camera like everybody else. Okay, here's our Jolly Roger. Remember, we prepared 3 of these looped bands. Now's the time we're going to insert them going to decide which side of my Jolly Roger is the best side, and I think this side is the one I want for his face. So on the opposite side, I'm going to catch 1, 2, 3 double loops, just like this. Hook that on my middle finger, grab it with the hook, and draw it right through without catching any of those white bands. Like I said, right through without catching any of those white bands. That's better. All right, pull it so your knot is right in the center. Okay, no need to be fussy, you just want it sort of centered there. Okay, remove your hook, let those hang on each side. Do the same thing now, right in the middle of Jolly Roger. It doesn't really matter how many bands you catch, as long as you have at least 3 sets. Grab your band, your double band, draw it right through without catching the extra bands. Let's see if we can get that off. There we go. All right, pull it in again so your knot is right about in the center. Let it hang. Finally down here, there, and there, and there. All right, your last double band, grab it, pull it straight through. Oh, that one went through easily. All right, there you are. Now, you're going to come up here, grab 2 bands at the side of his top knot here. Just a single band, pull it through. Right, again, over here, on the other side of his top knot, put your hook through, grab a single band, pull it through. Okay. So turn him around so he's right side up. Come right here where you finished your looping. Let's see if I put it this way. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to take these 2 bands that I just placed here, and I'm going to use them like a cap band right there. That's on the last peg from that X. Come over to this side. You want this one and that one. Grab them. See, those are the hooks, the bands we put on either side of the top knot. Right there. Push them down. His top knot goes over this one right here in the center where the other clear bands are. So now those work just like cap bands. 1, 2, 3. This one comes here. And on the opposite side, right there. And I'm going to tighten this one so you see. You see, that's the band that went through Jolly Roger. I'm going to, on one side, not on both sides, I'm going to double that, just to take up a little of the slack. All right? The next one, now down here at the bottom, it comes all the way down here. Again, that one comes here. I'm going to take up a little of that slack. So we've got those two here. This one, of course, goes on the middle. And we can take up the slack here. And this one does help if you use your hook. That's what the hook is for. Now, let's get in focus. There. Here's your 3 cap bands up here. Your top knot, and one on each side of the top knot. And then your 3 knotted bands go through the back of Jolly Roger, right there. And there you are. We're ready to put cap bands on these 2. I've put a C-clip right here, just for safety's sake. So I'm going to put a triple cap band on each of these 2 pegs where the black bands are. And we're ready to loom. There's nothing particularly mysterious or special. We're just going to push aside the cap bands, get the bottom loop, and over the forward peg. Again, and right up through each of those bands. This one, at the top of Jolly Roger's head, over to the side, it has a lot of bands, but you just reach in, and in this case, that's the purple one. Bring it over here. And then, all the way up the loom, finish that side. Over here, the same thing. Push all those cap bands back. Bring the bottom band through, just like on a triple single. Continue all the way up the loom. Here's that complicated peg here at the top of his head. No problem. Reach right down through all of those. Continue right up the entire double length of the loom. All right, in the center, you're working with the clear bands, and we've fastened Jolly Roger right here on the center one. No special deal. Reach under his top knot, pull up the bottom band, and you are in business. And continue to the end of the loom. I will continue to the end of the loom and come back to show you the finish. Now we're ready to take Jolly Roger off the loom. And some of these center ones have a lot of rubber bands on them, so you're going to want to use your hook to help take them off so you don't risk breaking a band. Pull that hook out. And there he is. All we have to do now is connect him. So, find these cap bands down here. Put them over my fingers to get them nice and taut. Bring that C-clip from the corresponding side. Slip it right on. Right, the middle one, I've got 2 here. So let's take this one off. That was just my security blanket to make sure Mike didn't lose any bands while I was looping. That needs some zhuzhing because they're stretched out. So those back into place. Grab this and catch. I like to catch the cap band that's on his chin, which is also very tight. Okay. And then the third one. Grab these cap bands. Find the right ones. And slip that C-clip right over it. And it's on. And you can stretch him out, adjust his face. I think he turned out very well. An improved Jolly Roger Skull and Crossbones bracelet. Here's the first version that's already on YouTube with very detailed instructions. If you feel I went too fast on the skull on this video, go look up the original Jolly Roger, and it's in much more detail and goes a lot more slowly. Here we are, the improved version, exactly the same. So whichever one you like. This is Noni for Noni's Crafty Kids. If you like this video, please check like down below the screen and subscribe to Noni's Crafty Kids or to my screen name, which is Stardark, so you'll catch all of the new rainbow looming and crafting projects that'll be coming up in the next weeks. See you next time.